Look at this here. You see the top statement, A, and then look at A prime at the bottom. Look at the relationship between these two statements. Allahu la ilaha illahu al-hayyu al-qayyum wa huwa al-aliyyu al-azim. You see? Huwa, you have the divine name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, followed by two of his names. Two of his great names, al-hayyu al-qayyum and aliyyu al-azim. So these verses, they complement each other. Look at B and B prime. Not seizing him are slumber nor sleep. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Look at B prime. And not burdening him is the preservation of them both. ولا يؤوده حفظهما. So these two verses, what are they doing? They're negating anything that is potentially inappropriate for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and maintaining his qudra mutlaq, his absolute power. So these verses have a semantical relationship. These statements, they're not verses, they're statements within a verse. Look at C and C prime. Lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard. To him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth. Look at C prime. Wasi'a kursiyuhu samawati wal ard. Repetition. The Quran repeats itself, not for just no reason. There's a great wisdom behind the repetition in the Quran. Something's happening here. There's a parallelism. To him belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns everything. We own nothing. We don't own our houses. We don't own your clothes. We don't own our bodies. We have autonomy over nothing. My body, my choice. No. Yeah. You don't have a body. You don't own your body. Your body is on loan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever he wants, he can take it back. But we have nothing to say about it. Everything is owned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wasi'a kursiyuhu samawati. His throne extends over the heavens and the earth. And there is a throne from the majestic creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam al-Razi mentions, but there's other meanings here. The throne is the seat of a king, which again demonstrates Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's absolute ownership of the entire universe. The samawat and the ard is an idiom in Arabic which means the cosmos, the entire creation. Al-alamin. What is al-alamin? Kullu ma siwa Allah. Everything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then look at this. In the center, I forgot to mention this. In the center of Kawthar, this is called the amud. So al-farahi and al-islahi, they call this the amud. This is the center of the chiasm, which is something that is more sort of universal, that applies to the ummah. Right? So the first and the third, this is speaking directly to the Prophet ﷺ. So in this Ayatul in the middle, but there's a sort of transcendental quality to the focus of the chiasm. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. This is sort of the pivot around which the surah turns. And here, the pivot itself is also a circle. It's ajib. So you have symmetry within symmetry. Keep in mind, the Prophet ﷺ is not writing anything down. Right? He's simply repeating these ayat that he's hearing from Jibreel alayhi salam. And for him to do something like this, even at this level, means he's a genius. But we're going to see different levels. This is a micro level. We'll see the macro level. But look at within the actual center of the chiasm. What happens? What changes? So A, B, C, and CBA are describing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the middle, there's a change, a type of iltifat, a type of thematic iltifat. So there's iltifat of tense, past tense, present tense, of person, like that, first person, the third person. But here the theme changes. Now creation is brought in. مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَشْفَعُ عِنْدَهُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. Who amongst creation can intercede with him except with his permission? And then look at A prime. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. Except with his permission, except what he wills. This repetition. These two statements parallel each other. So right in the middle of the middle of the ayah, يَعْلَمُ مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا خَلَفَهُمْ. the ilm, the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He knows what is before them and behind them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything about us. And this is consolation. Allah knows everything. You know, sometimes we kill ourselves trying to please humanity, please creation, but, you know, it lasts for 15 minutes and it's done. But who's going to remember us in our graves long after we're dead? Maybe our headstones will, you know, will be destroyed at some point. No one even knows where we are. But who knows us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.